Control time.
Oh, okay.
I can stop it right now. Ugh. Work stops.
Ready? Going away? Alright. I'd like to welcome most of y'all back again for the second try on this speech, and some of you back, or some of you for the first time. This is a speech entitled Drinking and Driving. This is something that I take personally, very near and dear to my heart. And I'd like to start off by asking you all first, just close your eyes for a minute. Just blank your mind's eye. Think to yourself that you've been drinking. Now imagine that you've been drinking a lot. And you're away from home and you need to get back home. So you have keys in your hand. Right in front of you is the car that those keys belong to. So you go ahead and you get in and you start driving away. And it's alright because you drive better drunk anyway, right? Oh, just hit a curve thinking about the answer to that question. But it's okay, you know, it's just a curve. As long as I didn't hit you. What was that? You can go ahead and open your eyes now and think to yourself, what did I just hit? Was it a person? Did I hit something? Should I stop and see, what it was? If it's a person, should I stop, get off, help them, call the authorities, maybe even get myself busted? These are some of the things that might be racing through your mind if you've been drinking and driving and you hit somebody. I tell you this because me, from experience, I have been in a vehicle with the driver that was drinking and driving and hit somebody. And that somebody just so happened to be my own dad. Now, I was 15 years old when this happened. And this, like I said, is something that I take very seriously. I take this very emotionally, very near and dear to my heart. Because I myself, as a soldier dealing with depression, PTSD, and alcoholism for a few years at one point in my life, I have drank and drive, drank and driven, and this is something that, of course, I know was very ignorant, very ignorant of me at the time. So, a couple instances of mine was I haven't personally gotten a DWI since I've been legal age to drive and drink, but I have had a public intoxication, and this was only because of the fact that I had a blowout on the freeway when I was driving. So, the police officer, once I was done changing my tires completely, the police officer pulled up and asked if I had been drinking. Of course, he knew that I was driving, but he couldn't really prove it. If he wanted to, he could have pursued it. He could have gotten me for driving while intoxicated, but he didn't. He got me for a public intoxication. Just so you all know, public intoxication or intoxication pretty much go hand in hand with drinking and driving. So there's really no weighing out the options there. So with that being said, that is still on my record, and I still have problems doing certain things that are getting security clearance in the military up to this day. Another instance with drinking and driving that I was involved in was a buddy of mine. We'll say his name is Joe, but it's speaking. He was driving, and I was the passenger in the car. We were driving down the street, down a residential street, not too far from a block party that we had left from. And this was not too far from where he and I both lived. We both lived about a block away from each other. He hit a parked car on a residential street 2 blocks away from where he lived, 1 block away from where I lived. Now, a few days later, of course, the police investigators found out who it was. Police investigators get paid for the job that they do. They get paid good money for a good reason. And it was kind of obvious to see that the right side of this vehicle that he hit was damaged, and the left side of his vehicle was damaged. And his was pretty much the only red car in that area. So it was rather obvious to find out who it was. Another instance was with a buddy of mine. We'll say his name is Huey for this speech. He had a brand new 2006 Ford Mustang, Pony Edition, twin turbo, brand new. He had only had it for a few months, and he wrecked it. He completely totaled it. I was a passenger in the car. We hit a telephone pole pole doing 70 miles per hour on a wet, slick road. And of course, we were both very drunk, way over the limit. Neither one of us were in any kind of condition to be anywhere away from our own home that night. He was so drunk that he actually didn't even realize that he dislocated his shoulder on impact. And on the impact, the airbag hit me square in the face and completely burned the front of my face. There was so much smoke in the car from the dynamite in the airbags that neither one of us could breathe. Now, to this day, he's still actually paying for that car and for the damages that he caused. Because the telephone pole that he hit was near a park that had been vandalized so much that the city actually had to put security cameras up. So the whole incident was actually caught on tape. And he tried to call his insurance company and claim the car as being stolen. Of course, a couple weeks later, it was found out that the car wasn't stolen, and we were both caught on tape. Me, myself, I basically got away with it scot-free, but my buddy, he still to this day is paying for the price of that car in full, the price of the damages, which the telephone pole cost $3,800 for the pole itself, the labor, and all the other additional costs that it took. And on top of that, he's still paying for court fees and lawyer fees that it took to try and get him cleared of an insurance fraud charge. Now that right there is something completely different from drinking and driving, but it's a very serious incident as well. Now, as far as drinking and driving, I have a graph here with a few of the states in the U.S. And this is just right here a picture of a drinking and driving accident. Now, if you look at it at first glance, it might look like two different cars, but if you look closely enough, it's actually the same car that was split in half. So that's something you might want to think about before you ever get in a car after you've been drinking. Now, of course, I have a graph here showing the states that are leading in deaths that are contributed by drinking and driving. Now, Texas, of course, is a big state. There's a lot of people. It's going to happen a lot. But the leading state, of course, is Hawaii. Little bitty Hawaii with all these very small islands. It's very populated, but there's not too many of the actual locals that are really in that economic status to be able to afford a car or to be able to afford any of these ramifications, but it still happens in Hawaii. Rhode Island is the second leading state. How many here know anybody from Rhode Island? We got 2, 3 people. I personally don't know anyone from Rhode Island. I really knew nothing of Rhode Island before I came in the Army, and I still to this day know hardly anything of Rhode Island, other than I've never met anybody from it. But, of course, Rhode Island, very small state, but they still come in second in the U.S. Now, for Texas, this is just a small chart. For your first offense, your minimum jail time can be anywhere from 3 days up to 180 days. Your second offense can be anywhere from 30 days up to a year. Third offense can be up to 2 years, minimum. Now the fines for your first offense up to $2,000, unless of course a child of 15 years or younger is in the car. Then of course that's an additional charge with way bigger fines. Your second offense is up to $4,000. Third offense up to $10,000. Now, I don't know about anybody else in here, but I have bills to pay. I have a family to support. I can't afford things like that. I mean, there are things that, yes, I can afford that are rather expensive, like a car, but to be paying an additional charge, like a surcharge, and higher insurance fees for my vehicle, all because I wanted to drink and drive, I'm not really able to afford things like that to an ignorant decision that I made. Of course, your license suspension can be from 90 to 365 days. Your second offense can be anywhere from 180 days to 2 years. The third offense can be anywhere from 180 days to 2 years as well. Now, for California, your jail time for your first offense can be anywhere from 4 days to 6 months. Second offense, 10 days to 1 year. Third offense, 120 days to 1 year. Now, for your fines, your first offense can be $14 license suspension can be 30 days to 10 months for your first offense. Second offense is 2 years, which can actually be reduced to 1 year. Your third offense can be 3 years of a license suspension. New York, your first offense, your jail time can be up to 1 year for your first offense. Your second offense can be 5 days minimum up to 4 years. Third offense can be 10 days minimum up to 7 years. For your fines, in New York, your first offense can be $500 to $1,000. Second offense, $1,000 to $5,000. Third offense, $2,000 to $10,000. Now, that's not the kind of money I personally would want to be throwing away, and I'm pretty sure you all don't have money like that just to take out of your pocket and toss in the air. Your license suspension in New York for first offense can be 6 months minimum. Your second offense can be 1 year minimum. Third offense, 3 years minimum. Now, with that being said, one thing that was not on this scale, on this chart, that was stated was with every one of those after your second offense, you have to have the breathalyzer start installed in your vehicle, and that right there is not something that any state or county pays for. That is something that comes out of your own pocket that you have to have installed. And when your sentencing is up, your time is up, your probation is done, you have to pay out of your own pocket again to have that taken out. And you have to take in numerous court papers and things like that. And I know because of the fact that my dad's had it done and he's paid through the nose for plenty of this stuff. And on top of that, my dad was not a legal U.S. citizen anymore after his fourth DWI. And from that time that he hit somebody while he was drinking and driving, he's had 4 more. He's been deported